My name is Kaitlen Boe and I'm an artist. I illustrate or whatever I feel like doing at the moment creatively. At the moment, my art style is kind of all over the place as I'm still exploring styles and mediums and techniques, which definitely influence my overall style. So far, I've only tried lead pencil, charcoal, watercolor, oil, and actually spray paint as well. I'd like to get into whatever other medium I can, be it video or photography or writing, because I consider that art too. And yeah, so I'm excited as school progresses to see what I'm able to do with those mediums. So right now I've been focusing a lot on watercolor just because it's so easy to use and learn to use, and it's very pleasing to the eye. It's really hard to, I guess, have really saturated colors when using watercolor, but the pastel colors are psychologically, they really lift my mood. And so that's another reason why it's been fun to experiment with that, as well as giving like a very ethereal or celestial look to whatever I'm doing, which is what I'm usually going for. The newest medium I've been getting into recently is oil paint, because I'm taking the class and in it we use either acrylic or oil, and I ended up using oil because I've heard it's more difficult than acrylic, and so I wanted to challenge myself. But it's also been really fun because the professor has been encouraging us to like be risky in oil painting and try new things and putting colors that we wouldn't expect to put on our canvases, and that was at first frustrating but also pretty liberating. So when I was a small Kate, when I was a kid, as far as I can remember, I think art or just doodling around and drawing has been a big part of my life. That's what I found myself doing, like in church and during homeschooling. I don't remember not doing that in my free time. As a kid, I was influenced a lot by Disney movies, of course, and other animated films. And that was really inspiring because of how much work was put into it, as well as the fun stories and the dynamic in animation. I find stories really fascinating, and I've been trying to translate my love for stories by going into illustration. I like how I'm able to tell a story visually through single images or images that spark the imagination in people. During the time I was gravitating towards more black and white, darker images or pictures, I feel like there was more of a darker metaphorical lens on my life mindset at that time mentally, and so that definitely translated into my art. But I just remember how important art is to me, and that keeps me going and motivates me to, just keep doodling. Art has been sort of like a coping mechanism for me, not in a bad way, because coping mechanism can have a negative connotation to it, but it makes me happy. And when I make art and sometimes I give it to friends or I show it to people, I see that it makes them happy, and so it's just like a transfer of happiness all around. And that's one of my favorite things about art. Art is important in our community because by many definitions, art is a form of self-expression, the human ability to express oneself. And that's important because without self-expression, how will one showcase their individuality and their opinions and their perspective. It's hard to imagine our society without art, because if you take away art, you're left with human nature, and a lot of human nature can be really ugly. And so when I see someone's art, I have some hope, and it encourages me to continue making art and bring joy to other people's lives.